Hi, I'm Kyle Halton, and this is Kyle's Couch. And by now, you know that I feature extraordinary owls. Today's extraordinary owl is 2015 graduate Greg Perez, who provided creative and chaotic weather segments for the first year of Owl Witness News.
Live outside our studio in the freezing cold,
we have Greg Perez. So, Greg, tell us how the weather's doing right now.
Storm!
Greg, tell us more.
Nor'easter!
Interesting.
My fingers are icicles.
Greg, what else?
My nose is nippy.
Oh, thanks, Greg.
I want to go home.
Amazingly, Greg is now a real news broadcaster and meteorologist, and he has turned his role as Greg the weatherman into a career.
29 degrees by Thursday at around 5 p.m. and 27 degrees in Helena, and then it drops down just a little bit on Thursday night, but we are trending towards normal.
Hi guys, welcome back to Kyle's Couch. Today I'm here with Greg Perez, and I'm going to be interviewing him about his experiences as a weatherman. Greg, glad to have you.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Okay, so what made you become a weatherman?
So it's kind of a long story. So in 5th grade, we had this segment with Mrs. Claire. I don't know if you had Mrs. Claire when you were in elementary school, but I had her as my 5th grade teacher. And we would have this segment every single morning. And we would, as students, go in, and she would have this little weather center set up. And we would talk about the barometric pressure, the types of clouds, high temperatures and low temperatures that we'd expect for the day. And quite frankly, I was just hooked from the start. So from there was an immediate interest in weather.
Great. Now, since you're already a weatherman and you've gotten some experience on TV doing stuff like that, can you describe for people who may not know, like, what is the daily life of a weatherman? Like, what do you do?
So first of all, being on TV isn't as glamorous as it seems. It seems very, very glamorous, and the aura of it is always very appealing. But 90% of my work is done off screen. So I'm forecasting. As soon as I get into the office, I start forecasting high temperatures and low temperatures for the first 7 days. And then we get into precipitation, and I go through the different layers of the atmosphere, because when you're talking about an atmosphere, it's kind of like a cake. So you have the top layer, the middle layer, the bottom layer, and a bunch of different layers in between. But something that's going on at the top might not be the same thing as something going on at the bottom. So you have to kind of dissect all those different levels and go from there. But that's just one aspect of it, because we're also talking about the presentation aspect of being on air as well. So I have to produce all of my own shows with a software called Baron Technologies. And that's kind of how you're able to see the Doppler radar behind me on the green screen. That's how you're able to see the weather headlines, future casts, high temperatures, low temperatures, current temperatures.
You make all of that. How do you think your experience in Owl Witness News helped you to become a weatherman and sort of use those same skills?
So it definitely helped in a way that I was able to understand that I was comfortable on screen for, whatever that means, because it was obviously in a very, very controlled setting. It wasn't live, but I would say Patrick and Alec, those were the guys, and even Mike, I think those were really the guys that were the brains of the organization. I was more of just the weatherman that kind of tagged along and just did the funny stuff. They were the ones that were really producing and editing and doing all of that.
What is like the craziest weather story you had to report on so far? Was there anything like you got in one day, you're like, uh-oh, I'm reading the layers of the cake, something's not right.
I'm reading the layers. That's awesome.
Just reading the layers.
And you're just like, oh no, this is bad. This is real bad. I was just like, so I was waiting for this storm to happen, because I knew it was going to happen at some point. It was going to happen, but I was waiting for this storm to happen, and all of a sudden, it just hit. We get reports from Broadus that they were getting softball-sized hail. And yeah, damaging cars, properties, all that stuff. But at the same time, it was so quick. It was in and out of their area and completely dissipated within 30 to 35 seconds. So that was probably one of the hardest things for me to actually forecast.
So, Greg, what was it like the first time you went on air, like the first broadcast?
Oh man, it was rough. It was it was really, really rough. And I think I still have my first broadcast somewhere. It's downloaded on my computer somewhere. I have to find it. But it was definitely very, very nerve-wracking. And I could actually hear one of my co-anchors in my ear telling me like to stop being nervous, because we wear the IFBs. And but when you're actually doing it, it's completely different from being pre-recorded, because it's live. You mess up, and that's kind of the way it is. But yeah, I was one could say I was quaking in my boots. It was a lot. Yeah. Like the little mistakes that I make now on air, which normal people may not notice, I notice, and I continue to get better and strive to get better. And that's kind of something that's always going to happen in the television industry. It will never, ever, ever, or very rarely will it be absolutely perfect every single time. And that's also something that I want to say to people if they want to get or thinking about being in TV. It's going to happen. And you have to just be prepared to take it and move on.
So during your whole year as part of Outness News, if you had to pick one memory, what would be your favorite part?
I did like working with Patrick, Alec, and Mazer, and that was a lot of fun. But I think that my favorite memory was actually seeing the excitement every Friday when we were able to put out that segment, and just giving something for the students and teachers to enjoy and laugh about. And I think that was very, very important in high school. And it's more important now than ever, but I think it was something that we were able to establish and kind of get the ball rolling on.
Do you have like a weatherman role model? Like, because people look up to celebrities and stuff. Is there some like hidden world of just like, oh, they do it so well?
Yeah, I do. And her name is Janice Huff. She's the chief meteorologist at WNBC in New York City. I was her former intern, and I worked with her between my sophomore year and junior year, and then again between my junior year and senior year. And she, if you were to just look at her on air, she does it perfectly every single time. And the best part about her is that she's just like you and I. She'll just talk and just be so down to earth, so normal, just a very kind and caring woman.
All right, Greg, thank you so much for that interview. It's great to get a little insight on what your work is and sort of what you do. Even though I don't have my couch, I'm going to have to say, you're going to have to get off my video chat.
Like now? Sorry. Like right now? I got to go?
Like now. Yeah.
All right, man.
I'm sorry. It's a custom.
I guess it's customary. I know. Thanks for having me, man. I'll get off your couch and your Zoom call. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Greg.